What if the most dangerous secrets in the world were just locked away, barely contained? Hello everyone and welcome back to Exploring Stories. Today, we're diving into 3 unique SCPs that you may or may have never heard of, all documented in 2024. These aren't your typical Euclid class anomalies. And a reminder to those of you who are new joining us today, the SCP Foundation is a secret organization tasked with securing, containing, and protecting the world from the unexplainable. There are creatures, objects, and even entire realities that defy the natural law, and the Foundation is watching and locking it away. Today's first SCP is SCP-8935, the entrance to Tanny Mine. Containment Class Keter. Disruption Class Eki. Risk Class Danger. Level 4 Secret. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-8935 is currently contained through application of Protocol H-1502. A ritual liaison dispatched by Site-46 must be on site at all times to ensure proper administration of the aforementioned protocol. Failure to do so has invariably led to a breach of containment. The primary tenets of Protocol H-1502 are as follows. Under no circumstances are any persons to enter the Tanny Mine. Crossing the threshold of the Tanny Mine without an instance of SCP-8935-A will result in a significant geological upset, the severity of which could threaten the entry point of the mine. The entry point of the mine must be maintained. In order to maintain a stock of potential SCP-8935-A candidates within Woods Holler, Foundation assets embedded within the local clergy and town administration must maintain a strict cultural taboo regarding human sexual intercourse, especially in all persons capable of bearing an offspring. No persons capable of bearing a child beneath the age of 32 are to be permitted to engage in sexual intercourse of any kind. Persons found to have broken this taboo are to be removed from the woods and remanded to Site-46 for evaluation prior to the application of amnestics and reintegration. In order to strengthen the aforementioned taboo, persons who entered the imposed taboo and removed from Woods Holler are to be given a cover story indicated they have been moved to a local parish to redeem themselves of their transgressions through severe physical and psychological punishment. As no persons removed from Woods Holler is permitted to return, this has thus far been a sufficient deterrent to the behaviors in question. On the night of the birth of an instance of SCP-8935-B, the SCP-8935-A instance who birthed the former is to carry the newborn to the entrance of the Tanny Mine. Foundation assets are permitted to assist the childbearer in getting to the entrance of the mine. Once inside, the A instance is to unlock the door on the far side of the threshold chamber and leave it ajar, and then leave the B instance laying in front of the door. They must immediately vacate the threshold chamber and return to the entrance. Once the B instance has been claimed, the door within the mine must be locked again by the childbearer, who is then free to return to the Woods Holler. In the event that this protocol is disrupted in some way, in order to prevent a full-scale breach of containment, a substitute instance of SCP-8935-B can be produced. This fallback protocol can be found in Document 8935-H1502, located on Site-46 file servers. This involves acquiring a non-anomalous newborn human and making alterations to it in order to mimic the shape, texture, and smell, as well as the sounds of an SCP-8935-B instance. This process may only be carried out by a trained Foundation agent familiar with the specific requirements of this protocol, and who have undergone extensive analysis to ensure mental and emotional stability throughout the entire process. These individuals are permitted to access Class M amnestics upon the completion of their task. In the event that neither the H-1502 protocol or its fallbacks are acceptably carried out within the allotted time frame, SCP-8935-C will then breach containment. There is currently no known method by which to recontain this entry. The entity cannot be physically harmed in any way. It is incapable of being restrained, and it is hostile to human life on sight. Breaches of containment will last 144 hours, after which SCP-8935-C will then return to Tanny Mine. Breaches of containment endanger all human life within roughly a 100-kilometer radius of the mine entrance, with the exception of the town of Woods Holler itself. Efforts by the Foundation assets to limit human development within the radius has mitigated immediate danger by eliminating the closest settlements, but larger population centers such as Morgantown, West Virginia, remain at risk. That being said, that was a lot of information to digest. Let's go ahead and summarize this SCP. SCP-8935 is the group designation for a hostile anomalous entity inhabiting the Tanny Mine near Woods Holler, West Virginia, and the specific personnel affected by its cyclical period of ritualistic activity. SCP-8935-A instances are people capable of bearing children and who have not engaged in any sexual intercourse in their life. They experience sudden and unexpected human parthenogenesis at the beginning of the ritual activity. This individual always appears within the population of Woods Holler, West Virginia, and has traditionally been a childbearing person between the ages of 16 and 32. Very few examples exist of affected persons being older or younger, and only if no other appropriate candidate exists. SCP-8935-B are the results of the ritualistic human parthenogenesis that occurs within instances of SCP-8935-A. These instances are biologically human, and they contain human DNA. They are very roughly physically analogous with normal human newborns. Despite this, these entities are typically born with a variety of severe physical abnormalities, such as a lack of eyes, fingers, or feet. SCP-8935-C is a hostile humanoid entity, which is contained inside the Tanny Mine. It begins to enter a period of activity during the 6th new moon of every 3rd year. So long as the ritualistic pregnancy is allowed to continue unabated, it will remain in a semi-inactive state until the evening of SCP-8935-B's birth. Moving on, today's second anomaly is SCP-8147, a tiny ring. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedure: SCP-8147 is to be kept in a standard safe object containment locker. Testing on this object is strictly forbidden following the events of Incident 8147-1. Description: SCP-8147 is a 4-meter wide, 3-centimeter thick, circular ring made of bronze, with 3 brackets on its backside that enable it to be mounted to a wall. In addition, the object has a USB port and a standard American 120-volt power plug. When it's powered and it's attached to a keyboard, its interior turns into a black void, which behaves as if it's solid. When a user types on the keyboard, white text appears within this void. If at any time the user hits enter, the text disappears, and an image of an hourglass will appear on the surface of SCP-8147 for anywhere from 3 seconds to 2 hours. Following this, the interior of SCP-8147 will become a Class 4 dimensional rift, enabling the user to travel into an alternate world, designated SCP-8147-1. This world will roughly match the textual description the user entered prior. No material from SCP-8147-1 may pass through this rift. Testing Log. Test number 3. Prompt: a planet made entirely out of solid iron. Generation time: 4 seconds. No additional notes. Test number 17. A replica of modern-day Earth. Generation time: 33 seconds. Additional notes: minor differences to baseline reality were noted. For instance, New Zealand was absent. Test number 45. An Earth-sized planet made entirely out of bricks. Generation time, 20 minutes, 48 seconds. Additional notes. A pile of loose bricks was spotted 1 kilometer from the rift. Otherwise, the planet was entirely flat. Test number 174. Prompt. An Earth-sized planet made entirely from dominoes stacked on their edges. Generation time, 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 19 seconds. Additional notes. SCP-8147 never generated a rift during this test. Instead, after 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 19 seconds, it displayed an X and returned to its text entry state. Incident 8147-1. On April 4th, 2023, a test was being conducted on SCP-8147, where it was prompted to create a planet identical to Earth, except that humans never evolved. However, Site-03 briefly lost power for 2.47 seconds after SCP-8147 entered its hourglass state. Upon losing power, it immediately formed a Class 4 dimensional rift instead of shutting down as expected. Upon entering, the exploration team stepped onto a mountainous, rocky terrain. Exploration Team Captain Roberts was immediately alerted to a human entity, which was designated SCP-8147-2. He was dressed in overalls and was chiseling a rock with a jackhammer. Holy shit. Who are you? You folks gotta leave. This is a construction zone. I thought this planet wasn't supposed to have humans. Are you humans? I'm as human as you are. I'll be out of your way once it's finished. Now scram. Wait, what made this planet? You're looking at him. I hate planet duty. And exactly how long have you been here? Round about 2.5 quadrillion years. All tests on SCP-8147 are now forbidden as per Ethics Committee Fiat, including the planned test of number 297. Today's last SCP is SCP-6914. Keep off grass. Containment class, Radix. Disruption class, Dark. Risk class, Danger. Special containment procedures. All staff within Overwatch Command have been informed of SCP-6914's anomalous properties. This ensures their compliance with its directives. Foundation landscapers employed for the structure are to only use lawn equipment, which prevents them from touching the grass planted nearby. Description: SCP-6914 is a small sign reading, "Keep off grass." Upon a human individual within an 80-kilometer radius of SCP-6914 making physical contact with grass, a lightning bolt will simultaneously manifest from the sky and strike them where they are currently standing. The lightning will be specifically tailored to reach its intended target, capable of altering its intensity upon each manifestation to the required amount to break any possible barriers protecting the subject, including ones constructed of non-conductive material. Following the discovery of this SCP, unanimous approval of the Overseer Council led to it being installed outside of Overwatch Command Site-01. While Site-01 has yet to experience a security breach of a magnitude considered worthy of such a security increase, the importance of the facility and the personnel within was the primary contributing factor of the decision. Addendum 6914-1 Incident Alpha. On 04/18/2012, a lightning strike suddenly occurred within an unused room in Site-01's second sublevel. Mobilized members of Mobile Task Force Alpha, Red Right Hand, were quickly dispatched to the area for investigation. Upon reaching the room, they discovered the charred corpse of Agent William Peterson, who had been struck by the lightning. Review of the footage revealed that Agent Peterson had grabbed what was discovered to be a marijuana cigarette from his bag prior to the strike. Implications of this incident remain under review. And with that, we reach today's end of the video. Thank you so much for listening. If you still are, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or liking the video, and letting me know what other type of videos you'd like to hear in the future. Once again, thank you so much and have a great rest of your night.